Hi, Mom. Everything is ready for Saturday. The party starts at 6 p.m., and I'll be there early to make sure everything is set up.
Actually, Fallon, there's been a change.
What happened?
You're not invited to the party.
That's not funny.
Vernon, Mallory, Serena, and I agreed. You're no longer part of this family.
I paid for the venue, the food, and the decorations. I did everything.
We appreciate it. Think of it as making up for not helping Mallory with her business.
So you used my money for a party I'm banned from?
And don't come to the restaurant. You're not welcome.
I can't believe this.
Organized and paid for the 20th anniversary of my mom and stepdad. But they banned me, saying, "You're not really part of this family." I kept quiet, but when they came to the restaurant, my own party was already there. Well, let's go. My name is Fallon, and I guess my story starts way back when I was just a kid. I had what you'd call a normal family. Me, my mom Denise, and my dad Clark. We lived in this little house on Willow Lane, and honestly those were probably the best years of my life. Dad worked at the repair shop downtown and Mom stayed home with me. She'd make these amazing waffles every Sunday morning, and Dad would read me bedtime stories every single night without fail. But then everything changed when I turned 10. Dad got sick, really sick. It started with him coughing a lot. Then he got tired all the time. Mom tried to explain it to me, but I was just a kid. I didn't understand why Daddy couldn't play with me anymore. The funeral was awful. I wore this black dress that Mom bought me, and everyone kept telling me how sorry they were. I didn't want their sorry. I wanted my dad back. After Dad died, it was just me and Mom for about a year. She had to get a job at the grocery store and money was tight. We ate a lot of boxed mac and cheese and peanut butter sandwiches. Then Mom started dating this guy named Vernon. She met him at work. He was some manager or something. First, I was happy because Mom seemed happier. "Fallon, I want you to meet someone special," Mom said one day when I got home from school. Vernon was sitting on our couch and there were two girls with him. "These are Vernon's daughters, Mallory and Serena. They're going to be your new sisters." I was so excited. I'd always wanted siblings. And here I was getting two sisters at once. Mallory was 13 and Serena was 12. Mom and Vernon got married 6 months later. After the wedding, Vernon and his daughters moved into our house. That's when everything really started to fall apart. Mom gave Mallory and Serena the bigger bedroom upstairs, and I had to move my stuff into the tiny room in the basement. The girls made it clear from day one that they didn't consider me their sister. They'd have these conversations about their family and their dad like I wasn't even there. When I tried to join in, they'd give me these looks like I was some annoying pest. The worst part was when they started setting me up for trouble. Mallory would eat the last of something and leave the empty container out, then tell Mom I did it. Serena would mess up the living room and say, "I was the one who made the mess." And Mom believed them every single time. That's when I started spending more time at Grandma's house. Grandma Ruth was Dad's mom, and she lived about 20 minutes away. She was the only one who really seemed to care about me anymore. I go there after school, do my homework at her kitchen table, and Mom would pick me up in the evening after work. On weekends, Mom would drop me off there too while she went shopping with Vernon and his daughters. This went on for years. While Mom bought Mallory and Serena expensive clothes and gadgets during their shopping trips, I got the cheapest stuff from discount stores. They got name brand everything. I got generic. They got new phones. I got hand-me-downs, but I had Grandma and that made it bearable. Everything came to a head when I turned 18 and graduated high school. Mallory and Serena were already in college by then, and I just assumed Mom and Vernon would pay for my education too. I applied to several colleges and got accepted, but tuition was expensive. I was so excited when I sat down with Mom and Vernon to talk about college plans. I had all my acceptance letters spread out on the kitchen table. "So, I got into Northview University and also Preston College," I said, barely able to contain my excitement. "The programs look amazing. And I think I could really—" "Fallon," Vernon interrupted. "We need to talk." Mom looked uncomfortable, fidgeting with her coffee cup. "Honey, we've been discussing this and we're not going to be able to help with college." I felt like I'd been slapped. "What do you mean? We spent all our college money on Mallory and Serena. Vernon said matter-of-factly. They're our priority. But I'm family too, said my voice getting shaky. I'm your daughter. Mom finally looked at me. Fallon, you need to be realistic. Maybe college isn't for you. You should think about getting a job, finding your own place. We can't support you anymore. I tried to argue, tried to make them understand how unfair this was, but Mom just shook her head. I'm sorry, Fallon. This is just how it has to be. That's when it hit me. I was being thrown away like garbage. I packed up my stuff that same day and went to Grandma's house. When I told her what happened, she got this look on her face I'd never seen before. Pure anger. Those people, she said, shaking her head. Don't you worry about college, sweetheart. I've been saving money for years, and it's all yours. Grandma had enough to cover my tuition and living expenses. I enrolled at a college in another state, far away from all the drama. I didn't tell Mom where I was going or what I was doing. She didn't call to ask either. For the next 4 years, I threw myself into my studies. I talked to Grandma on the phone every week and visited her during breaks, but I never once went back to Mom's house. Mom never reached out, never asked how I was doing, never seemed to care that I'd basically disappeared from her life. After graduating college, I decided to move back to my hometown. I landed a job at Hawthorne Investment Group, one of the biggest financial firms in the city. The pay was good, really good actually, and I found myself a nice apartment downtown. The work was challenging, but I loved it. Numbers made sense to me in a way that people never did. Could look at a company's financial statements and see patterns, predict trends, spot opportunities. My colleagues were impressed with how quickly I picked everything up. I settled into a routine pretty quickly. Work during the week, grocery shopping on Saturdays, and every Sunday I'd drive over to Grandma's house for dinner. She'd make roast chicken or beef stew and we'd sit at her kitchen table talking about everything and nothing. I never mentioned Mom during these visits, and neither did Grandma. Was like this unspoken agreement between us. That part of our lives just didn't exist anymore. The years flew by. I got that promotion, then another one. My apartment got nicer, my car got newer, and my bank account got stronger. I started investing my own money, building a portfolio that was performing really well. Life was good, simple, predictable. But then everything changed when I was 27. I got the call on a Tuesday morning. I was in the middle of reviewing quarterly reports when my phone rang. The number looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. Hello, is this Fallon Drake? The voice was older, shaky. Who is this? This is Mrs. Keaton, your grandmother's neighbor. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but Ruth passed away in her sleep last night. The funeral was small. I arranged everything myself. The service, the flowers, the burial plot next to Grandpa. I wore the black dress Grandma had bought me for my college graduation, the one she said made me look professional and beautiful. And then they showed up. I was standing by the graveside when I heard familiar voices behind me. I turned around and there they were. Mom, Vernon, Mallory, and Serena. Mom looked older, grayer. Vernon had put on weight. The girls looked like typical 30 now. All designer clothes and perfect makeup. Fallon, Mom said, walking over to me. I'm so sorry for your loss. I just stared at her. After 7 years of complete silence, that's what she had to say. Ruth was a wonderful woman, Vernon added like he'd actually known her. Thanks, I managed to say, my voice flat. After the service they approached me again. This time Mom had tears in her eyes. Fallon, I know things have been difficult between us, but now that Ruth's gone, you only have us left. Maybe we could try to rebuild our relationship. I don't know, I said honestly. Think about it. Mom pressed. Or family. That has to count for something. Over the next few weeks I did think about it a lot. Grandma was gone and the house felt so empty without her. Maybe Mom was right. Maybe family was family, even if it was complicated. So I called her. Mom, it's Fallon. I was thinking maybe we could try having dinner sometime just to see how it goes. That would be wonderful. How about this Sunday? That first dinner was awkward as hell. We sat around their dining room table, the same one from when I was a kid, and made small talk about work and the weather. Mallory and Serena weren't there, which was probably for the best. "So, you work in finance?" Vernon asked like he was meeting me for the first time. "Yeah, at Hawthorne Investment Group. I'm a senior analyst there." "That sounds impressive," Mom said. Though I could tell she didn't really understand what that meant. But it was okay. Not great, but okay. So, we tried again the next month and the month after that. Slowly, very slowly, we started building something that resembled a relationship. Come over for dinner once a month, sometimes twice. We celebrated Christmas together that year and Thanksgiving. I even met Mallory and Serena for coffee a few times, though meetings were still pretty strained. I started helping Mom out financially too. Nothing major, just small stuff. When their fridge broke, I sent her $500. When Vernon needed new tires, I covered it. Little things that made me feel like maybe I was part of the family again. I thought we were rebuilding something real, something that could last. I thought maybe Mom had changed, grown up. Realized what she'd lost when she chose Vernon's daughters over me. The investment portfolio I'd built was doing incredibly well. The house Grandma left me was in a great neighborhood and had gone up in value. My salary at Hawthorne kept increasing, and I'd been promoted again to portfolio manager. On paper, I was doing really well for myself. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe that's what changed everything. 3 years of this fake family reunion went by pretty smoothly. I'd gotten comfortable with the whole routine. Monthly dinners, holiday gatherings, the occasional coffee with Mallory and Serena. Sure, it wasn't perfect, but it felt like we were making progress. I actually started to believe that maybe Mom had learned something about what really mattered. That all changed on a Thursday evening in March. I'd driven over to Mom's house for our usual dinner. Nothing special planned. When I walked in, I noticed Mallory and Serena were already there, which was unusual. They typically didn't show up for these family dinners anymore. We ate the first part of dinner making small talk, but then Mallory suddenly looked straight at me. "Actually, Fallon, I wanted to talk to you about something. I'm planning to start my own business, a boutique clothing store downtown." "That sounds cool," I said. "The thing is, I need about $120,000 to get started. I was hoping you could help me out." I almost choked on my food. "You want me to give you $120,000? Come on, Fallon. You're obviously doing well for yourself. You've got that big house, the fancy job, all those investments. $120,000 is probably nothing to you." I stared at her, then looked around the table. Mom was watching me expectantly. Vernon had this smug look on his face. Serena was nodding along like this was the most reasonable request in the world. "Mallory, $120,000 isn't pocket change, even for me. That's a huge amount of money to just give away for a business plan I haven't even seen." "You don't trust me?" Mallory asked, her voice getting sharp. "It's not about trust. It's about being smart with money. I didn't get where I am by making foolish financial decisions." Vernon leaned forward, his face getting red. "You think helping your sister is foolish? Look, if you want to start a business, that's great, but find investors, get a loan, do it the right way. Don't just expect me to bankroll your dreams." Mom's face was getting red now, too. "Fallon, you have more money than you know what to do with. Would it kill you to help us out? I'm not giving you $120,000 for some half-baked business idea." The rest of dinner was completely silent. I could feel Mom's disapproving stare burning into me the entire time. Nobody said another word until I left. For 2 whole months, nothing. No dinner invitations, no phone calls, no text messages asking how I was doing. It was like I'd been erased from their lives again. I tried calling Mom a few times, but she was too busy, couldn't talk, had to go. After a while I stopped trying. Then out of nowhere, my phone rang on a Tuesday evening in May. "Fallon, it's Mom. I was wondering if you'd like to come over for dinner this Sunday. I think we need to talk." When I showed up Sunday, it was like a completely different person had answered the door. Mom was all smiles and hugs, acting like nothing had happened. "I think we both said some things we didn't mean," she said. "Family shouldn't let money come between them." "I agree," I said, wanting desperately to believe this was genuine. We spent the next hour talking about old times. Brought out photo albums from when I was little back when Dad was still alive. We laughed about the time I tried to give the dog a haircut, about my first day of school, about Christmas mornings when I was 7 or 8. For a moment it felt like we were actually connecting. Like maybe we could get past all the drama and hurt feelings. Then she got that look on her face. The one I should have recognized by now. Actually, honey, I do have something I wanted to ask you about. Here we go, I thought, but I kept my mouth shut. Vernon and I are celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary next month. We'd really like to have a nice party to mark the occasion. That sounds lovely. The thing is, we're not really in a position to plan something big right now. Money's a little tight, and I don't really know where to start with the organizing. I was wondering if maybe you could help us out. I should have said no right then. Should have seen exactly what this was. But I was so desperate to have some kind of family relationship that worked. What did you have in mind? Oh, nothing too fancy. Maybe 30 people or so. Just family and close friends. Somewhere nice but not too expensive. I could help with the planning, I said carefully. And maybe you could help with the costs too. I know it's a lot to ask, but you're so good with money, and we just can't afford to do this, right? There it was. Another request for money. But this time it felt different, smaller. And after 2 months of being shut out, I just wanted back in. "'Kay," I said. "Can handle it." Mom's face lit up like Christmas morning. "Really? Oh, Fallon, thank you so much. This means the world to us." So, for the next month, I threw myself into planning their anniversary party. I found a perfect little restaurant downtown that could accommodate 30 people. I paid for the deposit, the decorations, even hired a DJ. I called Mom every few days with updates. "The flowers are all set," I'd tell her. "And the DJ has a great playlist of music from the 80s. That sounds perfect, honey. You're doing such a wonderful job." 2 days before the party, I called her with the final details. "Everything's ready to go. The party starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday. I'll see you there a little early to make sure everything's set up properly." There was a pause on the other end of the line. "Actually, Fallon, there's been a change of plans. You're not invited to the party." I laughed because I thought she was joking. "Very funny, Mom. I'm serious." The laughter died in my throat. "What do you mean I'm not invited?" "I planned the whole thing. Vernon and I talked it over with Mallory and Serena. We decided that you're not really part of this family. This party is for people who actually support us." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "I organized this entire party, paid for everything, and we appreciate that. Consider it a small way to make up for not helping Mallory with her business. We don't think you deserve to be there. Don't try to show up at the restaurant. Fallon, you won't be welcome." The line went dead. I sat there staring at my phone trying to process what had just happened. Then the text messages started coming in. "Mallory, can't believe you thought you'd actually be invited." Serena, "Enjoy your Saturday night alone, loser." Mallory, "Maybe next time you'll think twice before being such a selfish bastard." Serena, "You're not family and you never will be." I sat there for maybe 10 minutes, just staring at those horrible text messages. Then something clicked in my brain. A smile started spreading across my face as I realized something incredibly important. I had planned this party. I had paid for everything. The restaurant booking was in my name. The decorations were paid for with my credit card. The DJ was hired by me. This wasn't their party anymore. It was mine. I grabbed my phone and called Bramble's Bistro, the restaurant I booked. "Hi, this is Fallon Drake. I have the anniversary party booked for Saturday night." "This is great. Everything's all set for your event." "Great. I need to make a small change to the decorations. Can you remove the anniversary banner and replace it with something that says, 'Long-awaited freedom' instead?" "Course, we can have that ready for you." "Perfect. And I'm changing the start time. Instead of 6 o'clock, let's make it 3 o'clock." "No problem at all." Next, I started calling every friend I could think of. College buddies, co-workers, people I hadn't talked to in months. "Hey Lila. It's Fallon. I know this is short notice, but are you free Saturday afternoon? I'm throwing a spontaneous freedom party, and I'd love for you to come. Count me in." That sounds like exactly the kind of party I need. Called 20 people total. 15 of them said yes immediately. Apparently, everyone loves a good screw toxic people party. Saturday afternoon came and I got to the restaurant early. The new banner looked perfect. Long-awaited freedom in beautiful gold letters. I changed into my favorite red dress, the one that made me feel confident and powerful. My friends started arriving right on time. Lila brought her boyfriend Drew. My college roommate Violet brought a bottle of champagne. Even my coworker Shane showed up with his wife. Okay, I have to hear this story, Lila said as we all gathered around our tables. What exactly are we celebrating freedom from? So I told them everything. The whole sordid tale of my mother and stepfamily. The business loan demand, the anniversary party setup, being uninvited from my own event. By the time I finished, everyone was shaking their heads in disbelief. Well, then Lila raised her champagne glass. Here's to toxic people removing themselves from your life. Everyone cheered and clinked glasses. For the first time in months, I felt genuinely happy. About an hour into our party, the restaurant manager came over to our table looking flustered. Ms. Drake, there's a woman at the front door who's very upset. She's claiming this is supposed to be her anniversary party. I grinned. Tell her the restaurant is closed for a private event. She's being quite persistent. She has several people with her and they're demanding to be let in. I walked over to the front of the restaurant where floor-to-ceiling windows gave me a perfect view of the entrance. There they were, Mom, Vernon, Mallory, Serena, and about 20 other people I vaguely recognized as relatives and family friends. Mom was pounding on the glass door, her face red with fury. I pulled out my phone and called her. Hello, Mother. She spun around and saw me through the window, phone pressed to her ear. Fallon, what the hell is going on? Why is the restaurant closed? This is supposed to be my anniversary party. Actually, this is my party. Paid for it. Planned it. And I decided who gets to come. You can't do this. And I did. You told me I wasn't part of your family, remember? So I threw my own party instead. Through the glass, I could see Vernon gesturing angrily. Mallory and Serena were both on their phones, probably texting me more insults. The other guests looked confused and embarrassed. Fallon, this is insane. You've ruined everything. I didn't ruin anything. You did. When you decided to use me like an ATM and then throw me away. Open this door right now. No. Enjoy explaining to all your guests why there's no party. Maybe tell them how you invited your daughter to plan and pay for your anniversary celebration, then uninvited her because she wouldn't give your stepdaughter $120,000. Mom's face went white. I could see her looking back at the confused guests, realizing she'd have to explain this whole mess to them. You're a vindictive little bastard. She hissed into the phone. I'm someone who finally learned not to let people walk all over me. Goodbye, Mom. I hung up and went back to my friends who had been watching the whole drama unfold through the windows. We partied until 10 o'clock. My friends were amazing. They kept the mood light and fun, made terrible jokes about toxic families, and helped me celebrate what was honestly the best decision I'd made in years. When I got home that night, my phone was buzzing with messages. Not just from Mom and the stepsisters this time, but from relatives who'd been at the non-party too. Mom, you are dead to me. Don't ever contact me again. Mallory, you're a psychotic freak. No wonder Dad died to get away from you. Serena, hope you enjoyed your little tantrum because you'll never have a family again. Vernon, your mother is heartbroken. You should be ashamed of yourself. Aunt Judy, I don't understand what happened tonight, but your mother is very upset. Cousin Blake, heard about some drama at the party. Everything okay? I read through all of them, waiting to feel bad or guilty or sad. But you know what I felt instead? Relief. Pure overwhelming relief. I typed out one response and sent it to Mom, Vernon, Mallory, and Serena. You're right. I will never contact you again. Thanks for finally showing me who you really are. Then I blocked all their numbers. 3 days later I got an email from Mom. The subject line read, "Disowning notice." I almost deleted it without reading, but curiosity got the better of me. Fallon, after your disgraceful behavior at what was supposed to be our anniversary celebration, Vernon and I have decided to formally disown you. You are no longer our daughter, and we want nothing to do with you. Do not contact us ever again. You are not welcome at family gatherings, holidays, or any other events. As far as we're concerned, you don't exist. Niece. I read it twice, then started laughing. Actually laughing out loud in my empty house. She thought this was some kind of punishment, but it was actually the best gift she could have given me. I hit reply and typed back. Perfect. Thanks for making this official. Have a nice life. That was 6 months ago. I haven't heard from any of them since, and my life has been absolutely peaceful. No more walking on eggshells. No more fake family dinners. No more requests for money disguised as family bonding. I got promoted to senior portfolio manager at work. I've been dating a really great guy I met through Shane. I joined a book club and started taking yoga classes. I volunteer at the animal shelter on weekends. My house, Grandma's house, feels like home now instead of just a place I inherited. I've redecorated it exactly how I want it. Filled it with plants and books and things that make me happy. Sometimes people ask if I miss having family. I tell them I finally figured out the difference between family and relatives. Family are the people who love and support you. Relatives are just people who happen to share your DNA.